Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is Fanadian here. I'd like to welcome you all to another video, and today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the Miami Dolphins game that they just played against the New England Patriots, which the Dolphins did just end up winning 17-16. So a super close game, a pretty sloppy game, I'm not going to lie. It is week one, so I'm not going to get too concerned about it. I do expect the team to get better throughout the season. They have started the past two seasons under Brian Flores pretty slow, and they have gone better as the season goes on. So I'm expecting something similar to happen this year, what happened last year. But this year, things are starting off a bit different as the team did manage to get that win over the Pats, which is going to be huge for the Dolphins' playoff chances. If you look just how the game kind of went here scoring wise, the team did start off the game with a nice touchdown drive that ended in a Tua Tagovailoa 3-yard touchdown run. Then in the second quarter, the Pats started coming back a bit. They got a field goal, they got a touchdown to take the lead, and then Miami responded with a nice 48-yard Jason Sanders field goal to tie it up. And then in the third quarter here, the Dolphins did start off with another nice touchdown drive that ended with a Jalen Waddle touchdown. The Patriots got a couple field goals, but they weren't able to fully catch up to the Miami Dolphins, who did end up winning the game. Box score here, we could look at some of the personal stats for some of these players here. So Tua Tagovailoa, 16 for 27, 202 yards, one passing touchdown. He also had a rushing touchdown and one int that was pretty unfortunate. Honestly, it looked way worse than it was when he actually threw it. When I was watching the game, I was like, Tua, you cannot throw that. What are you doing? But after, kind of hearing him say he was just trying to throw it away and re-reviewing the play, it wasn't too bad of an interception here, but still not very good. And then Mac Jones, 29 for 39, 281 yards and a touchdown. He also had a pretty good game. I feel like his performance honestly reminded me a lot of Tua last year, right? I feel like if you put rookie Tua behind this Patriots O-line and gave him these Patriots receivers, he would have put up a stat line just like this. So both quarterbacks had pretty good games, I'd say. Going on to the rushing here, Miami's leading rusher here, Myles Gaskin, 49 yards on 9 attempts. It was a pretty rough rushing day, I'd say, overall for the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins O-line was getting pushed around a lot by this Patriots defensive line. And if we look at the rushing here for the Pats, Damian Harris, 23 attempts, 100 yards, had a heck of a game for himself here. It was looking great up until that final play where he fumbled the ball because Xavier Howard punched it out. We'll talk a bit about more of that later. And if we go to receiving here, Devontae Parker did lead the Finns, 4 receptions, 81 yards, had a really nice game. And the rookie Jalen Waddle also had a really nice game, 4 receptions, 61 yards, and a touchdown. So super excited to see Waddle come out here and have a really good game. It was nice seeing Parker out there healthy. Really excited to see what this receiving core looks like when Will Fuller and Preston Williams get added to the mix. And for the Patriots, Nelson Aguilar had himself a pretty nice game, 5 receptions, 72 yards, and a touchdown. And James White was honestly doing a lot of work in the receiving game out of the backfield. They did get their tight ends involved a bit later on in the game, and overall, pretty nice close game. It was a nice divisional matchup here. So one thing I'd like to go over here is some of the key points I mentioned in my preview video that I thought the Dolphins, would need to execute on these things to win. Did they actually do it? So the first thing was stop the run. If you look at this Damian Harris box score here, they obviously struggled against the run. I won't be too hard on them because Raekwon Davis did get injured right at the start of the game, so that definitely did affect, the Dolphins' ability to stop the run, but I would have liked to see them do a lot better than they did. If we keep on going through here, Dolphins O-line needed to not play like shit. They did have a pretty bad game, I'm not going to lie. They definitely had a lot of worse games last year and the previous year, but I wasn't too excited with what I saw from the O-line, but they could definitely get better. They were missing Austin Jackson. We will see how that affects the O-line when he returns. Pressure Mac Jones. That is something the team was able to do. They didn't end up logging any sacks. They should have had at least one, but they got robbed by the referees on that Elandon Roberts roughing the passer call that did set Mac Jones up for his one touchdown. That was complete baloney, but they did get like 9 QB hits and they were constantly pressuring him, so that was something the defense was able to do. And don't turn the ball over, win the turnover battle, and no sloppy shit. This was probably what really mainly decided the Dolphins' victory, was the fact that they were able to generate more turnovers, and the Patriots had way more penalties than the Dolphins did, which is something weird because in the past that is something that you would never see. So let's just get on to some of my general thoughts here about this Dolphins game. So Xavier Howard, they did not throw at him at all, but he ended up coming up super clutch at the end of that game with that punch out on the fumble. That was huge. He definitely showed this is why you guys paid me. This is why I'm with the team, and this is why I'm an elite cornerback. Even when they try to avoid me as much as possible, he still finds a way to get his hands on the football. Byron Jones got tested in this game. He got thrown at a lot more because they're trying to avoid Xavier, and I thought he showed up. I thought he looked really good. One guy that I wasn't too happy with in this game was Jerome Baker. I thought he was constantly having troubles covering James White. He got burnt a couple times, and especially on third downs, he was really struggling. So hopefully Jerome Baker can bounce back against the Buffalo Bills because we'll definitely need him. I thought Jason McCourty had a really solid game. He had that really big pass block up, and he looked super hyped up after beating his former team, the New England Patriots. So happy for him. Looking at some rookie performances, I personally thought Waddle looked like the best of them all. He looked really good out there, really fast. He had that one unfortunate drop, but other than that, he looked really good. I thought Liam Eichenberg stepping in at left tackle this game had a really solid performance. I'm going to be very interested to see what the Dolphins do with the O-line when Austin Jackson comes back. My guess is that they move Eichenberg to left guard and have Austin Jackson take back over at left tackle, but I do think they should experiment with having Eichenberg play left tackle and Austin Jackson at left guard. And Javon Holland was apparently PFF's highest graded rookie of all the teams with an 82.55 grade. So if you watch these videos, you know I'm very high on Javon Holland. I'm a big Javon Holland fan. So he didn't get a ton of snaps in this game. He had around 24 snaps, I believe. But when he was in the game, he did make his impact felt. It's just that Jason McCourty also played really good, and having too many good safeties is not an issue. If we could have McCourty, Holland, Eric Rowe, and even Brandon Jones all start balling out, that would be super good for this team. I thought Jacoby Brissett, like I mentioned, coming in on the QB sneaks was pretty cool. I thought that was a good way to use him. But I did think what they did at the end of that second quarter, where they kind of wasted a few seconds, was pretty weird. Defense had a pretty solid bend but don't break performance. They did generate 4 forced fumbles and ended up recovering 2 of them, so pretty big for their team keeping up that turnover streak. I believe they're at 23 games in a row now where they did have a turnover, so huge for the Dolphins team. And overall, a very nice, just gritty win. I feel like that's how I describe that performance, as very gritty against a good New England team, right? It is not easy to go into New England week 1 in Foxborough and get a win, so even though it was a bit of a rough game, it was really nice to see them get away with this dub, especially as they're going on to Buffalo next week. So if the Finns can start off 2-0 in the division, that's going to be absolutely huge when it comes to making the playoffs. It's just, if you want to hear me talk about that Buffalo video, you're going to have to wait until my preview. So other than that, that's pretty much all my thoughts on the game. I thought Tua looked pretty good. I thought the offense could definitely use some work still, but I feel like they'll get better as the season goes on. The defense overall, like I said, very good bend but don't break performance. Gave up some yards, but kept shutting down the Patriots in the red zone, had some turnovers, pretty standard performance from them. And overall, I'm really excited to see what this team does. Getting a win week 1 is huge, and yeah, I'm probably going to end the video here now. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you liked it, leave a like. Let me know what you can improve. Is there any other things you want to hear me talk about in these, thoughts videos at the end of games? Let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Dolphins content. And until then, thanks for watching, everybody, and hopefully I see you in the next video.